Go. Hello, guys. This is Aaron from Deep Sea Haven, and my guest and actual new part of the crew, Fat Man. His name is Rhett, but we call him Fat Man. Say hello.
Very good. Nice to meet you guys.
Today's topic of conversation is going to be kind of wrestling in general. We're going to go hop from WWE to TNA to some news about AEW, and definitely some WCW, because, I mean, what's not fun to talk about WCW? So, our first topic tonight is AEW's new roster. You said you have the roster on your phone, right?
Yeah.
So, what we're going to be doing is kind of talking about the roster and seeing kind of how that will be playing out in the future, you know, like, because I think their first pay-per-view, like their first recording and stuff like that is happening May, right? I think.
Pretty soon, I believe it's May.
So, I mean, definitely would like to see that in the future. I mean, definitely would be interesting because Dusty Rhodes is one of the head owners of it. Same, I think, with like Chris Jericho. So,
yep.
That's really cool and really interesting to see kind of developing in another brand that's not going to be TNA.
Yeah. I'm a little worried about AEW, though.
I mean, definitely understandable. I mean, every time we've gotten new wrestling and other companies, a lot of them have failed. Like, Ring of Honor hasn't gotten that big. I mean, it's gotten big. I mean, I don't know if you heard, they had a Ring of Honor show right before WrestleMania.
Right.
And I guess that they were at WrestleMania's home. I can't remember what the place in New York City is called. The arena.
Yeah,
Madison Square Garden. Yeah, because they were at Madison Square Garden instead of the WWE, and that to me is really crazy to think about, because to me that's when I think of WrestleMania, I think of the Madison Square Garden, because I mean, how many big shows have gone off there? You know what I mean?
Right.
And big lines. So now what are some of the wrestlers that are supposed to be? These are confirmed signings.
These are the latest confirmed sightings. You have Hangman Adam Page.
Adam Page, I think, is going to be a really cool star. We haven't really seen a lot of him, so I think it'd be really interesting to see kind of where he takes off from here and see if he can develop a new character or maybe continue the character he's already started.
I think he's going to have a hard time if he tries to continue with the character he's already started, because it just hasn't been working out too well for him. I mean, you recognize the name from, you know, the different promotion he's been in, whether it's been, you know, the indie scenes or, you know, anything like that, but I honestly feel he needs a new gimmick.
Definitely. Maybe not even a gimmick, just him being himself. Kind of like The Miz did for a while when he was like cocky, arrogant. He said he was playing himself.
Right.
And sometimes that's better for wrestlers. So
you know, and then one of the major signings that AEW has gotten so far has been, you know, Chris Jericho coming from WWE.
That to me is really interesting for the fact of we have somebody who's been a live long, you know what I mean, major promotion.
You know, he never really had to deal with a lot of injury issues. He's always been, you know, whether he wasn't a top end talent, he's always been, you know, just a step above the mid carders. He's held titles.
Yeah, I think you've seen him a lot
runs.
in the main event, you know what I mean? Even if he wasn't the person fighting for the title, he had something to do with the main event. I mean, and the whole list thing that he did in the WWE. I thought that
hated that.
I think it made him a really good heel, but a funny heel. And I really enjoy that personally. So I think that's really cool and really interesting.
But yeah, and then, you know, coming from TNA, and I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, the last year or so, he's been more in the indie scene after getting released from TNA. You have Christopher Daniels coming over from TNA in the indie scene, and you learned a lot about him from TNA when he was teaming up with AJ Styles.
Very true. And I mean, if he's anywhere close to AJ Styles' level of performance, that's going to be a huge star for AEW.
In a lot of cases, when they were in TNA teaming together, I feel like Christopher Daniels was more of a technician type wrestler. You know, everything was clean, everything looked good. You know, I honestly think that at most of the times, you know, he was outperforming AJ Styles, because AJ Styles is that high flyer. You know, he's going to hit the crazy moves that you don't think possible, but Christopher Daniels is the one that's going to wear down the opponent. You know what I mean?
Definitely have one of those live-long matches, kind of like Brock Lesnar style. Like, I don't like Brock Lesnar, you know this, but like his style where it's that ground and pound and it's that aggressiveness.
Right.
You know,
and that's what Christopher Daniels brings to everything. You know, he'll stand in there toe-to-toe with anybody, and he'll put on a fantastic match, no matter what the case is. You know, and he's had a lot of crazy stipulation matches going through TNA, though.
I mean, TNA is just a whole bunch of crazy stipulations. Enterprise.
TNA is a different viewpoint that we're going to talk about later. But you also have Cody Rhodes coming from, going from WWE to, if I'm not mistaken, TNA for a little bit, and then he spent time with the Indies.
I can't remember if he was in.
I'm not 100% sure on that. I think.
But we have a pretty strong feeling that he was. I mean, and if he was, I mean, I feel like TNA has really been kind of like a breeding ground for stars growing. Like, the promotion might not be the greatest in itself, and it might have been falling off in these past years, but they have really made some stars who kind of struggled in the past couple years, or even longer than that, thrive. Or wrestlers like Bobby Lashley. When he left the WWE, he was nothing. No one wanted anything to do with him. He was just another big brute that Vince McMahon wanted because he's that big guy. You know what I mean? That big star that he saw. And as you saw when him taking the ECW title over CM Punk, how much the fans were mad because they wanted their star, not what Vince McMahon wanted. And then he leaves, you know what I mean? I can't remember exactly how he left. I think he might have got fired, actually.
No, his contract expired, and they just didn't.
They didn't re-sign him. Okay, and he went to TNA after a couple years, and
he went to TNA. He
really
did
good.
Some MMA.
He did really good, in my personal opinion.
Honestly, the way I see TNA is young stars go there to, put on a good show and hope to get seen by bigger promotions, and older stars go to finish out their careers.
Yeah, I mean, but in that same breath, I mean, certain older stars shouldn't have gone, like Ric Flair, you know what I mean? Ric Flair should have
retired like 20 years ago.
I don't agree with that at all. But I think he should have. His retirement match with Shawn Michaels was the best I've ever seen, in my personal opinion. It should have stayed that, and the fact that he kind of disgraced himself in that way. The fact of how you literally got one of the best send-offs the WWE can give. I mean, if you remember Lita's send-off, the kind of woman who kind of started the women's revolution, to be honest.
Yeah.
Her end match was versus, it wasn't match, but it was the gangsters on WWE, I can't remember what they're called, Crime Time, selling her bra and panties.
Yeah.
And, and her, I think she had like an ointment cream for like a yeast infection. It was a really, really messed up segment, and I mean,
about what she had. But yeah, so Cody Rhodes has been confirmed to go there, and he's another one of those. He comes from a bloodline. You
Definitely.
recognize the name.
I'm curious if maybe we're gonna see a little bit because funny fact, Cody Rhodes bought a couple of like the name promotions of like WCW pay-per-views. Yeah. I don't know if you heard about that.
No.
And bought a whole bunch of like archive stuff of his dad, and copyrighted a lot of it.
I mean, it'd be cool to see him find a new character because he wasn't as big of a star as you thought he would have been going through WWE.
I mean, Goldust was that was good for him, but Stardust, I didn't think that fit him at all.
Right.
Well, Goldust, to me, fit his character. He just exuded that character. I mean, sadly, Cody doesn't have his skill of his father, where you pretty much put Dusty in any position and he'll do his best to shine, and that's definitely something really cool.
Right.
So who are we looking at?
The next one that we have is we got Kylie Ray coming over from, if I'm not mistaken, Being the Elite, which is another one of those indie scene type.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these indie promotions, honestly, nowadays are doing really good. I mean, as we talk about indie promotions, I mean, NXT is technically indie for WWE.
Right.
Like, they're style indie. And I mean, a lot of the NXT matches have been better than
a lot of the WWE
matches lately. And that, to me, is really crazy because, I mean, I feel like with Triple H running that, I mean, I feel like he's doing so much of a better job of letting them grow and letting them just be who they want to be, you know what I mean? And helping molding them into the wrestlers that he feels that he needs for that promotion. But as soon as they go to WWE, everybody sees what happens. I mean, look what happened to the Revival and things like that. So I mean,
the Revival didn't work out as well as you initially thought. But I honestly think that they're gonna get their push soon.
I hope so, because I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a lot of the tag teams out there now.
If you think about it, who's been the most dominant, tag team everybody's talking about the last couple years?
The New Day.
The New Day. Kofi Kingston just won the title.
Yeah, that is definitely another topic I would like to go on to about, like, not in this video because I feel like that's going to be a little bit longer one, but, like, I feel like there could be a heel turn with the New Day, something along those lines. But
I feel something coming for the New Day.
So definitely
but
something
honestly,
gankety, Aaron quote.
Here, my favorite addition to AEW
Definitely.
is Jim Ross for commentary.
I think Jim Ross is great. I loved him. I mean, just when I think of Jim Ross, I think about when Mankind went off the top of the Hell in the Cell.
Yep.
And he's like, he's broken in half.
He's broken. He just killed him.
You know, and it's just like how powerful and just like I've never heard a commentator anywhere close to making me feel that way that he does. Because when I watch WWE now and a couple other promotions, to be honest, where it's just like the commentators just feel like they're there to be there. They're no longer there to give us the informative information that we like to hear and kind of give us another mindset on that.
Yeah.
You know. So I feel like that's a very really interesting, and I personally really enjoy it.
I love the Southern accent. I
Yeah.
love his passion and everything for wrestling in general. Everybody has their own opinion about what wrestling is and what it isn't, but you're not going to hear that in the commentary when Jim Ross is there.
Definitely.
At all. Jim Ross is going to make you focus on the match, focus on all of the high points, and almost break down to almost
Yeah, I mean, like he from what I heard, I mean. He was petrified. He wanted the match to like completely the end, and then when Mankind got back up and he went through the cell, I heard that Jim Ross was like freaking out because he was worried about him, So like,
100%.
definitely, a weird entry here.
Glacier.
Glacier.
I'm not excited for this.
Honestly, I am, and if he is his original gimmick, let's go. I want to see this gimmick in 2019. I think it would be great.
No.
I think it would be stupid to give him maybe a half a year run with Glacier, right? Just for kind of like
maybe half a minute.
Here's a kudos to like the old era, like the Attitude Era and things like that, and maybe because he was I think right before the Attitude or right during the Attitude Era, where maybe AEW is trying to show, hey, we're trying to get Attitude Era stars because we want that style, we want that more adult content mixed with more content. Like for everyone content, and I would love that personally. I think the
my
whole
viewpoint on
PG
the
area.
whole Glacier. I'm gonna put it as simple as possible. If you go back in the video, look at how long we talked about Cody Rhodes. That's about as long as I think we should talk about Glacier.
We talked about Cody Rhodes a decent amount though.
We only talked about him for about 2.5 minutes. That's how long I give his gimmick.
Alright, next one.
We're coming kind of towards the end of it. There's a lot of, indie scene guys that, a lot of people probably don't really know about because everybody prefers
let's just
the main.
spitball them out, you know what I mean? Make a quick opinion, you know what I mean?
I mean, we got,
another...
Pakura Shida coming over from Japan, I believe it is.
Another one that I'm really interested in that people are rumoring.
Please tell me you're talking to me. I think you are.
Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
Because he hasn't... The lunatic fringe, you know what I mean? I love him, and I think if it's more of an adult-centered content, like that's what they're going for, I think he's just going to destroy over there. For the fact of I feel like he's just been giving terrible gimmick after terrible gimmick after terrible thing. They made him Bane.
Yeah.
Like how else can you stick somebody with a bad thing but Bane?
You know what I feel? I feel WWE killed their chances of keeping Dean Ambrose, and I'm going to tell you why.
But my worry about that is also losing his wife, because I think she does make a terrible addition to WWE. But I mean, I would love her as a female commentator on AEW.
Yeah, but
maybe give her own little show.
The thing that I'm talking about with Dean Ambrose, I honestly think WWE killed their chances of keeping him just off of the base fact of when the Shield first broke up. You know, after Seth Rollins did the heel turn, sided with the Authority.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
I liked the breakup, but then there was the get back.
Yeah.
They got back together.
Yeah.
Then when, Roman Reigns announced that, he had to take time off to go battle leukemia, that same night, they broke it up again.
I mean, that one...
And then
that one made a lot of sense for the fact of... They had to break it up for the fact of... What else were they supposed to do in that scenario?
No, I understand them breaking it up, the main component of the Shield is,
Yeah. I wouldn't say main, but
no,
I would say a significant part of it.
I'd say the main component of it.
33%. I would say it's 33% out of all of them, and then that little tiny 1% of a percent margin is the fan base that makes the Shield.
Okay, but, you know what I mean? But you got to look at it from Dean Ambrose's
No,
viewpoint.
it's not 1% of a percentage.
When they broke them up the first time, he went on to have a very successful run as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
He was doing very well.
I mean, all of them. In my personal opinion,
all of them did.
They did great.
Know?
I mean, look where Seth Rollins is right now. He's champion.
Yeah.
With Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Roman Reigns isn't in the main title scene right now. We all kind of prefer that. Don't tell Vince that 'cause he'll have a hemorrhage. But
yeah.
Definitely interesting. Well, this is gonna be one topic. There'll be more videos on more topics. So, peace from the Deep Sea Haven. This is Aaron saying goodbye.
Take it easy, guys.